Diana always has money, she can spare it. The words, echoing across the sun-drenched Idaho Falls Park, felt like a physical blow. My stomach dropped as I watched my brother shrug, dismissing years of sacrifice in a single sentence. The scent of grilling burgers mingled with the sharp tang of betrayal. Inside, I was screaming. Outside, I remained composed. My hands trembled as I excused myself, needing air, needing space. For years, I'd been the silent pillar, the unseen benefactor, funding their lives while mine stagnated. Later that day, an email arrived. A grant acceptance. A small victory, perhaps, but a start. Diana Jenkins, a 36-year-old marketing executive living in a stylish Denver apartment. She presents a picture of moderate success, a good job, a comfortable life. But underneath this carefully constructed facade lies a deeper, unspoken truth. Diana is the family safety net. She secretly funds her sister and brother's lives and her parents' well-being, a responsibility no one else knows, or seems to appreciate. This carefully guarded generosity has become a burden, a silent sacrifice fueling resentment. Diana always has money, she can spare it. The words, echoing across the sun-drenched Idaho Falls Park, felt like a physical blow. My stomach dropped as I watched my brother shrug, dismissing years of sacrifice in a single sentence. The scent of grilling burgers mingled with the sharp tang of betrayal. Inside, I was screaming. Outside, I remained composed. My hands trembled as I excused myself, needing air, needing space. For years, I'd been the silent pillar, the unseen benefactor, funding their lives while mine stagnated. Later that day, an email arrived. A grant acceptance. A small victory, perhaps, but a start. Ever felt used, betrayed by family? Hit follow. Trust me, you need to see how Diana turns the tables. The ending, beyond satisfying. The seed of this resentment was planted in late 2008, amidst the financial crisis. My sister Sarah, a stay-at-home mom perpetually juggling credit card debt, tearfully called, begging for help. "We're going to lose the house, Di," she sobbed. "The kids, everything." I emptied my savings account, a sum meant for a down payment on my own modest condo, and wired it to her. In 2012, my brother Mark, the aspiring musician, needed a small loan for studio equipment. While I was meticulously crafting marketing campaigns on a decade-old laptop, he envisioned himself a rock star. He promised to pay me back from his sure-to-be platinum album sales. I never saw a dime, just photos of him posing with expensive guitars I'd indirectly funded. The final straw arrived during a family Christmas in 2018. My parents proudly displayed a brand new, state-of-the-art kitchen appliance, a gift from Mark and Sarah. While they raved about its features, I sat quietly, remembering the countless dinners I'd skipped, the extra shifts I'd worked, all to ensure they had a comfortable holiday. My own studio apartment kitchen remained a relic from the 1970s, avocado green and crumbling. I excused myself early, claiming a headache, the metallic tang of suppressed anger coating my tongue. I was done. That grant fueled a quiet fire. No more loans, no more bailouts. The family, frozen out, my focus shifted. Work consumed me, driven by a newfound hunger. Marketing plans became bolder, campaigns more innovative. Each success felt like a brick in a wall, building a fortress around me, impenetrable to their demands. First milestone, a promotion to senior marketing manager. The raise was substantial, enough to finally afford that condo I'd dreamed of. Sunlight streamed through the floor-to-ceiling windows, illuminating my minimalist, modern space. No avocado green relics here, yet I said nothing to my family. Let them assume I still struggled, still scraped by. Their assumptions were my shield. I poured my energy into building a business on the side, a boutique marketing consultancy catering to small businesses. Early mornings bled into late nights. Weekends vanished. The first few months were brutal. Ramen noodles were a staple, sleep a luxury. My hands were raw from typing, my eyes burned from the screen, but slowly, steadily clients came. Word of mouth spread, my business grew. Second milestone, landing a major national client. This deal changed everything. Suddenly, I wasn't just surviving, I was thriving. I leased a small office space, hired a team, and watched my consultancy blossom. My family remained oblivious, their phone calls becoming less frequent, their assumptions solidifying. They called only at holidays or when seeking favors, unaware of the truth of my growing empire. No gratitude, no acknowledgement, no awareness. One Thanksgiving, my sister called, complaining about her struggling business and the need for a new car. Diana always helps, she said, her voice dripping with expectation. I politely declined, citing financial constraints. The silence on the other end was deafening. The potential revelation came during Sarah's birthday. She posted photos from her celebration, including a snapshot of the restaurant's opulent interior. A comment from Mark Reed, "Living the high life, Diana must be so proud." My blood ran cold. I knew they saw me a fool, a mark. They saw my rising success as their success, a source to exploit, not something I earned. I said nothing. I revealed nothing. Not yet. Third milestone, selling the consultancy for a life-changing sum. The moment the funds cleared, I felt a sense of profound freedom. No more hiding, no more guilt, no more Diana always has money. This was my money, earned through sweat, strategy, and sacrifice. However, I kept my cards close to my chest. No lavish celebrations, no extravagant purchases. My greatest revenge was not their money, it was the control, the power of knowing the truth while they remained in the dark. A notification pinged. Family reunion, Christmas, Aspen. The text from Mom felt impersonal, almost obligatory. Aspen, ski lodges, designer everything, paid for by. Who? The irony was delicious, a bitter, satisfying taste. I began strategic preparations with quiet resolve. This time, I'd arrive as an equal, perhaps even a superior. I booked a suite at the Little Nell, Aspen's most exclusive hotel. I assembled a wardrobe of understated elegance cashmere sweaters, tailored pants, a single, breathtaking diamond pendant. No flash, just quiet confidence. Christmas Eve crackled with forced cheer. The scent of pine and cinnamon hung heavy in the air. Sarah's kids tore through gifts, their squeals echoing off the vaulted ceilings of the rented chalet. Mark regaled everyone with tales of his almost famous band. Mom beamed, oblivious. The family gathered around the fireplace. I watched them, a ghost in their midst, observing from a distance. The transformation was palpable. No more hand-me-downs or budget airlines for me. The subtle shift in dynamic was lost on them, though. They saw the same old Diana, the reliable one, the giver. How wrong they were. Soon, very soon they would know. The moment arrived after dinner. My sister smugly remarked, "Diana, you're looking well. Must be nice not having the pressure we do, am I right?" A chorus of chuckles rippled through the room. It was time. I took a slow, deliberate sip of wine, letting the silence stretch, thick and uncomfortable. Pressure. I echoed, placing the glass on the antique coffee table. What pressure would that be? A flicker of unease crossed Sarah's face, a barely perceptible twitch. I leaned forward, my voice calm, controlled. "Oh, I don't know," she stammered. "Just, life, jobs, kids, money." Then I dropped the bomb. "Speaking of money," I said, pulling out my phone. "I thought you might appreciate seeing where some of mine went recently." I swiped through the photos, projecting them onto the large screen. The first image, the headquarters of my former consultancy, now a thriving national corporation. The second, an article announcing the acquisition, the headline screaming the sale price. The third, a screenshot of my bank balance, a number so large it made my stomach flip. The silence was immediate, absolute. Sarah's jaw visibly slackened. Mark choked on his eggnog, sputtering and coughing. Mom stared, her eyes wide with disbelief. What is this?" she finally whispered. I smiled, a genuine smile, not the strained, obligatory one I'd worn for years. "This, my dear family, is success." I paused, letting the words sink in. "And it's all mine." Sarah's face contorted. "But you never said anything, we thought." "You thought what?" I finished her sentence, my voice dangerously low. "That I was still struggling, that I was still your personal ATM." I stood up, towering over them. "Those days are over, permanently." Mark spluttered, but you always helped us. What are we supposed to do now?" I shrugged, my expression indifferent. "Figure it out, just like I did." The air crackled with tension, thick with shock and resentment. The power had shifted, completely. The shock lingered. "You lied to us," Sarah accused, voice trembling. "All this time you let us think." I cut her off, raising a hand. "I let you assume, there's a difference. You never asked, you only took." My gaze shifted to my brother. "Remember that small loan for studio equipment, Mark? Still waiting on those platinum sales reports." He flushed crimson. "That's ancient history. Funny, isn't it? How quickly history becomes inconvenient when the truth comes out." I countered, my voice unwavering. "You laughed then, you're not laughing now." Mom finally found her voice, laced with its familiar guilt trip. Diana, family helps each other, we're your blood. Blood doesn't entitle you to my bank account, Mom. It earns respect, honesty, and gratitude, none of which I ever received, I retorted. My phone buzzed another message from Sarah, now pleading, begging for a small loan to cover the chalet rental. I silenced it. Mark tried a new angle. Look, Di, we could invest this money for you. We're great with finances. I laughed, a short, sharp sound. Really, considering you stole nearly $11,000 from my account a few weeks ago, I'll pass. His face paled. I knew I'd won. The silence stretched, broken only by the crackling fire. Finally, I spoke, my voice calm and resolute. This conversation is over. Enjoy the rest of your Christmas. My gift to you is the truth. I turned and walked away, leaving them speechless, their faces a mixture of shock, anger, and dawning realization. The old Diana was gone, and she wasn't coming back, but the game was far from over. My phone buzzed again. Sarah frantic, Di please, we need to talk, now. I ignored it. The victory felt hollow. Money, while empowering, wasn't the ultimate leverage. I craved more. I wanted them to understand the true cost of their actions, the strategic surprise that I had planned all along. The next morning, a crisp, legal-looking document arrived via courier. It was a notice of default on the mortgage for my parents' house, and a similar notice for Sarah's business. My brother received a summons to court to discuss unpaid student loans, originally co-signed by my parents. All three items were in jeopardy. Confusion and panic erupted. Sarah and Mark stormed into my suite, eyes blazing. What is this, Diana? Sarah shrieked, waving the notice like a weapon. Did you do this? I maintained a studied calm, sipping my coffee. Do what exactly? Ensure that obligations are met, uphold agreements. You know damn well what you're doing, Mark exploded. You're trying to ruin us. Ruin you, I echoed, feigning innocence. I'm simply ensuring the terms of existing agreements are honored. I leaned back, adopting a casual posture. The mortgage, well, the loan was secured against that very property and the business. My late grandfather had originally financed the mortgage and the business. Grandpa, what does Grandpa have to do with this? Sarah asked, face contorted in anger. I smiled, revealing the final layer of my plan. My grandfather, your grandfather too, left me in charge of the family trust. I technically control the bank he founded, the bank that holds your mortgages and loans, and I have decided to call them in. I paused for full effect. After all, family is about responsibility. The color drained from their faces. You can't do that. Mark stammered, eyes wide with horror. He physically recoiled like I'd struck him. I raised an eyebrow, unfazed. Can't I? The paperwork says otherwise. Apparently, Diana always has money also means Diana controls the family's financial lifeline. I calmly explained. As trustee, I have a fiduciary duty, a legal obligation to act in the best interests of the trust, which now includes ensuring all debts are properly managed. Their initial anger dissolved into abject terror. The realization that I held their financial fates in my hands was devastating. The silence was deafening, broken only by Sarah's choked sob. Years passed. Initial pleas turned to angry demands, then to strained apologies. Diana selectively responded, offering guidance but no cash. She saw her niece excel, defying her parents' path, a small victory. The weight lifted. Diana invested wisely, traveled, and volunteered. She found joy in her community and peace in solitude. Her family's attempts to guilt her faded, replaced by a begrudging respect and quiet resentment. Looking back, Diana realized her worth wasn't tied to their validation. She built a life defined by her choices, her strength, and her kindness, directed where it was valued. In the end, freedom tasted sweeter than revenge. See the power of your story. Ready to reclaim your life? Share this. It's about success, not revenge. Go be brilliant. Find your power.